Now, very few of the top 100 JSE-listed companies currently procure core services from small black businesses. This trend will shift under the new B-BBEE codes of good practice, which are pushing company enterprise development programs towards meaningful supply chain development. Joining us to consider its impact is Pascal Vroliger. He's partner at Impact Amplifier, and he joins us now here in studio. Pascal, thank you so much for joining us. So yesterday we had the launch of the amended B-BBEE codes of good practice. What's new?
So yesterday we launched a report that looked at the top 100 JSE-listed companies and looked at how they perceive enterprise development and what strategies they implement to make enterprise development work. And so we looked at basically three main themes that came out of that code. Well, the first theme was around what's the perception or the strategy in that field. And what we found out is that one of the main drivers or trends in that regard is how to get enterprise development closer to its core of the strategy of the actual corporate.
Right.
The second thing we found out as a trend is how this money is actually deployed. So the money can be deployed in different ways, and there's a lot of support services that are needed around that money to kind of make that intervention more effective, and also make it more relevant for the business that is actually doing that. And the third trend that we looked at was around impact measurement. So once the money is deployed, how can a corporate find out what actually worked and what didn't work, and what actually had the impact that it had supposed to have.
Why have small black businesses found it so difficult to attract big business as preferred procurement partners?
I think that's an interesting question, because I think it's a multi-layered question. In the first hand, I think the main issue that's there is that many black businesses, or especially emerging black businesses, are not ready yet to be included in big corporate supply chains, especially when it goes about the core business of that business, where it's about revenue generation. So a lot of the services that have to be provided by corporates to make that work is to give non-financial support, being business development services, incubation services, to these businesses to stabilize them as reliable suppliers.
Is that the plan, to fast track them to readiness?
So the plan of the new codes is to get supplier development and enterprise development closer together, and to incentivize companies to spend part of their enterprise development spend on their own suppliers, and this trend will then be accelerated, and it will be in the interest of the company to create small businesses that are stable enough for them to rely on them as suppliers.
You speak about core services, and I mean, obviously one would think that there obviously are peripheral services as well, and that's the space where small black businesses have been able to play. What is this perception of risk that is associated with black businesses and their capacity to deliver on core functions?
Yeah, what we found in our participants, we looked at about 60 participants, is that they're not fully trusting emerging businesses, and so this has to kind of be overcome by providing more stability around that.
But is it a perception issue, or are black businesses at this current moment in the South African enterprise landscape incapable of delivering on core functions?
I think one can't generalize like that. I mean, the businesses are at different stages of their development. But I think in general, there's a lot of services needed to kind of accelerate that trend for core businesses. So and I just wanted to add maybe to that, this report, we launched a report yesterday, and it will be available on our website as well. So which is www.impactamplifier.co.za, and there you can look at the survey.
Let's look at how the changes that affect enterprise development are likely to be received by big business. Do you think that, especially when we look at the weightage, so maybe talk us through how enterprise development has significantly become more important, and how business has responded to this?
corporates have responsibilities.
Yes.
So I think we're still in the middle of that trend. So we found that corporates are very positive towards enterprise development, and we asked mainly enterprise development practitioners. So they have obviously an interest in the field. But we found that corporates also see enterprise development as the right tool to address this socioeconomic problem. And so we found a lot of positive energy in the space, but it's still the beginning of a long journey where corporates still need to do a lot of work to get to that place where the relationship of trust is built between emerging small businesses and corporates.
Do you think that improving the importance or increasing the importance of enterprise development over the other pillars of the B-BBEE codes of good practice has the capacity to significantly shift the landscape of economic empowerment for the country?
I think there's a lot of potential in there, yes. I think the more there's a reliance on each other. The small business have to rely on the corporates and the other way around. There will be a lot of effort put into transformation, and I think that will have a significant impact into transforming the South African economy. Yes, I would.
And let's just, before I let you go, Pascal, look at working on the risk profile. What should small black businesses be doing right now to ensure that they reduce the risks associated with their capacity to deliver on core services, such that they are positioned attractively for big business?
I think the key is being relevant. So providing a service that is relevant for a corporate and adding value into the core supply chain of a corporate. And I think if that's a good basis of a relationship that will also be mutual.